Skinny Hardaway, Southern T. Back with another. Hey, I see my girl in here. Hey, boo boo. Hey, Shay. I see Shay fine ass in here. I see my brother G5 in here. I see my guy MP. What the fuck was good? G5. Appreciate you sliding through this, John. TWT is in the building. Shout out my brother 5. What's good, Shay? Appreciate you sliding through this, John. Shay, the beautiful Shay. Y'all say hey to Shay. Shay fine ass. Appreciate you sliding through this, John. Shay. My morning made when I get my girl Shay to come through these things. When I get my girl Shay to come through these things, my day made. Now y'all can't tell me shit now. Shout out my guy MP. What the fuck was good? TWT in the building. Glad you could make it go. My brother's keeper. What's good? And I am my brother's keeper. Shout out my brother's keeper. Sliding through this thing. Glad you could make it. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all roll on me. Y'all smash that like button for your boy. Whether you're here for a good time or a long time. Don't know if it's your first time, but if you could, not make it your last time. If y'all could, smash that like button for your boy. Today we're here to talk about Josh Taylor and Josh Taylor's new mandatory. Josh Taylor new is mandatory. His name is Jeremias Ponce. Now, his Jeremiah spelled a little different. That name kind of fucked me up for a second. It took me a while to realize that the shit was just Jeremiah. Jeremias, not Jeremiah, but Jeremias. You know what I mean? So we got Jeremias Ponce versus Josh Taylor. Now, this is interesting, right? Because we all know that Josh Taylor, right? Either Josh Taylor was or Josh Taylor wasn't, you know what I mean, about to fight Jack Caterall. Now, at first he said, I'm not fighting Jack Caterall. I don't have no reason to fight Jack Caterall. Why would I fight Jack Caterall, right? That's what Josh Taylor said. And then he came out later on and said, I'm going to fight Jack Caterall because the people want me to fight Jack Caterall, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give the people what they want, right? Then he said that. Bullshit. Now, the IBF has hit Josh Taylor with something else. Josh Taylor recently, he just got stripped of his WBC belt and his WBA belt. Now, Josh Taylor says that he let these belts go, but he got stripped of these belts due to inactivity. Now, you could say that that's the same thing. Josh Taylor just decided not to defend him. And the reason that Josh Taylor said he decided not to defend him is because the reason Josh Taylor said that he decided not to defend the belts, right, is because that he could no longer make 140, and then making the weight was getting hard for him, so he would have to let him go, right? Because he was moving up. But Josh Taylor ended up not moving up, right? He ended up staying at 140. So they ended up taking the belts. Now, Albert Pulio, who has been the long-standing, number one contender at the 140-pound division for the WBA, he's about to take place in the fight for the WBA strap. The WBC has given Regis Prograis his long-awaited, second title shot. Regis Prograis hasn't had a title shot since he originally lost to Josh Taylor. So Regis Prograis is about to fight for the WBC. So now you got Josh Taylor only having the WBO belt, and you got Josh Taylor having the IBF belt, right? Now, I said something earlier. I asked the question, like, why y'all think that Josh Taylor really dropping out of these belts? Because after he said that he's staying at 140, right? It's clearly not because he's leaving 140, right? After he said that he has no interest in fighting Jack Caterall, but now he's coming back and saying he do got an interest, but in the beginning, he said, I have no interest in fighting Jack Caterall. He has nothing to offer. So we know he's not just coming back to, defend his Jack Caterall honor or nothing like that. And I know he's not coming back, to defend his undisputed, to defend his pride in being number one in the division, because he has dropped 2 out of the 4 belts that he had in said division. So it's none of those reasons. You know what I mean? So why? So, right, by default, right, Josh Taylor had Just Do. What's good, Just? Appreciate you sliding through this, John Just. Glad you can make it. Glad you can make it. Well, I'm looking for my phone. I'm looking for my phone so I can hit up Shay. Damn. That's it. That's it. All right, bet. So I just walked you down. I just walked you down the ladder, right? How we got here. So now the IBF is calling the mandatory. What's good, brother? Just Do. Appreciate you sliding through this, young brother. Just Do. Glad you can make it. TWT in the building. Appreciate you sliding through this, John Do. But we no, I just walked you up to where exactly, where we was. So now we here with this IBF situation, right? The WBA situation, his mandatory was Albert Pulio. It been Albert Pulio for a minute. I was always under the impression that Josh Taylor never really wanted to fight Albert Pulio, right? Which is why, he never had to. Well, Albert Pulio has been that mandatory for like 2 years almost, you know what I mean? And they've been sitting on that belt. You know what I mean? The WBA is also under investigation right now. So maybe that has a lot to do with why Albert Pulio was never given, his title shot. Maybe that pay for ranking thing that the WBA is going through has a lot to do, with that. But Albert Pulio, there was a thing going on. This man been waiting for a long time for a title shot. Why haven't Albert Pulio been given his title shot? He finally gets it. They strip the belt from Josh Taylor and they give him his long-awaited title shot. The WBC belt, the mandatory was Jose Zepeda. You know what I mean? The mandatory was Jose Zepeda. Jose Zepeda has been looking better than ever. You know what I mean? As of late, Jose Zepeda is one of those guys who seems to be like in the second prime. You know what I mean? Zepeda is about to take on Regis Prograis for the WBC belt. I think that's the best fight at 140 to be had right now, especially when, let's just say that, you feel like Jack Caterall beat Josh Taylor, right? I think the two best after Josh Taylor at 140, I think the two best are Regis Prograis and Jose Zepeda. So it makes a lot of sense, to have Regis Prograis and Jose Zepeda face off for that belt in the WBC. The IBF, is yet to be seen exactly what Josh Taylor does with the IBF. But I'll tell you this: if Josh Taylor decides to fight this mandatory for the IBF, so he won't lose his belt, originally, right? Normally, that would make the most sense, right? Normally that would make the most sense, right? You defend your belt so it don't get taken. But Josh Taylor has already let them take away, 2 out of his 4 belts. You know what I mean? Jose Zepeda and Albert Pulio. Both fights in which I don't think that Josh Taylor really wanted. You know what I mean? And he said that he wanted to fight Jack Caterall, right? So if he ends up defending this IBF mandatory, that's going to have me, raise the question as to Josh Taylor, why did you choose to defend this mandatory, but you let them strip away, your other 2 belts? You know what I mean? But Josh Taylor has to fight this mandatory, or he's going to have his IBF belt taken, But we all know, right? Recent events, Josh Taylor don't mind, letting a belt go at all because he let the belt go to fight Jose Zepeda and Albert Pulio, right? So my guess is that Josh Taylor is going to let this IBF belt go as well. And Jeremias Ponce is going to be the new champ, you know what I mean, at 140. Isaiah Felix Fury never came out of retirement. I know Fury retired again. I was telling y'all he wasn't never coming back. Literally. I explained that in my T yesterday. Yeah, y'all see Shane here. Y'all see Shane here. Yeah, y'all see Shane here. MP. She came back in here. Yeah, my girl Shay, man. I be I be so happy seeing my girl Shane here, man. Y'all just don't know. Y'all just don't know. Y'all just don't know. But yeah, I expect Josh Taylor to let this belt go, right? I expect him to let this belt go. I expect him to let this belt go and continue to fight his fight with Jack Caterall, because I know at first you said Jack Caterall wasn't worth it. Now you saying that, oh, you want to fight Jack Caterall to put everybody, to shut everybody up, right? Or did you want to fight Jack Caterall because you didn't want to fight Zapata, and you didn't want to fight Albapulio? Is that why you let the belts go, or you let the belts go because you couldn't make weight before? Because you said a lot of different shit. I'm just trying to, put out on the table, y'all, everything that he said. So did you let them first two belts go because you couldn't make the weight at 140 anymore? Did you let the first two belts go because you didn't want to fight the mandatory? Did you let did you let did you let them other two belts go, because you had some underlying, shit going on with Daniel Killingham? You know what I mean? What's good, Mad Chat? Appreciate you sliding through this, John Chat. Glad you could make it. For whatever reason, for whatever for whatever reason, you decided to let those belts go, right? You did decide to let them go. Now the last thing you said was because you want to fight Jack Caterall and defend your honor and whatnot. So that's why you let the WBA and the WBA and the WBC belt go. That's the reason that you gave for letting it go. Originally, you said you was gonna let all of them go because you was going to 147, and then you stayed at 147 and said, "Well, now I'm gonna stay at 170 because I want to, avenge that Jack Caterall fight." So at first Jack wasn't important, but now Jack important again. So we going off the basis that Jack Caterall is important to you again. So now you got this IBF fight that with this guy that nobody ever heard of. You know what I mean? I'm gonna give y'all a rundown on him. After I set the table. Now you got this fight. Now you got this fight against this Jeremias guy that nobody has ever heard of. A day in their life. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy. Whether you're here for a good time or a long time, if y'all could, as y'all roll on in, smash that like button for your boy. We're here having a Josh Taylor conversation. The IBF has called Josh Taylor a mandatory. This guy you see on the screen, Jeremias Ponce, you know what I mean? The guy you see on the screen is ordered to fight Josh Taylor next for his IBF belt. But I'm on here telling y'all that if Josh Taylor is a man of his word, right, he probably is going to end up dropping his IBF belt as well, because he doesn't have, interest in this fight, right? He only has interest in Jack Caterall. You know what I mean? You let Josh Taylor tell us. Now he only has interest in Jack Caterall. At first, he didn't even have interest in Jack Caterall. My thing is, I think Josh Taylor right now, he's full of shit. I think he's making a lot of moves and he's not being clear with his intent or his reasoning. Now, I know why Josh Taylor moving like this and moving funny and making all these questionable decisions that nobody can't seem to quite put a finger on to find out what's going on. I know why he making all these moves, and it seems odd, and that it seems like it seems odd, and it seems like uncalculated. It's like he's all over the place, right? That's because Josh Taylor is not even sure what's going to happen with Josh Taylor. If you notice, those big UK fighters, a lot of those big UK fighters, a lot of those guys are doing a lot of funny movements later, a lot of moves that don't make much sense. You got Tyson Fury, saying he retired, then saying he'll come back for 500 million, and then saying that he'll fight for free, and then he came back and said that he gonna fight Derek Chisora because he want to do another trilogy, and then coming out and saying that he's not fighting Derek Chisora because Derek Chisora asked too much, and then going back and saying, well, yeah, I'm retiring. I'm retired again. You know what I mean? But I told y'all Tyson Fury probably was never going to fight again. I told y'all that he is going to stay retired. What do y'all think is the reason, that Tyson Fury not fighting no more? What y'all think the reason that Josh Taylor making all these questionable moves that's all over the place? We're about to see exactly where Josh Taylor headed. We're about to see exactly where Josh Taylor headed. I'm gonna put Shay coming back up there because Shay's so beautiful. You know what I mean? She's so beautiful. We're about to see exactly where Josh Taylor headed, right? when it comes to this IBF mandatory, because if everything is status quo, right? If everything is status quo, if everything goes the way that it's been going, Josh Taylor, should just let this IBF belt go, and Josh Taylor should let this IBF belt go. You know what I mean? Josh Taylor should continue allow down the line of fighting goddamn Jack Caterall, because that's what he said. Now I'm about to get into this Jeremias Ponce Pounce. This what's good, AB? Appreciate you sliding through this joint. Glad you can make it, pimp. Glad you can make it. I'm about to bring up this Jeremias guy. This is Josh Taylor's new IBF mandatory. Y'all do your boy a favor as you roll on in. Whether you're here for a good time or a long time, if y'all could smash that like button for your boy. This is the guy. He's undefeated. He's undefeated, facing off against Josh Taylor. Appreciate y'all sliding through this joint. Shout out my guy AB, the TWT in the building. I love seeing my TWT people in the building. What's good, Matt? Appreciate you sliding through this joint, Matt. I'm about to share this screen so y'all can see, the guy at hand, Jeremias Ponce, who is Josh Taylor's new mandatory. Here you go. Jeremiah is 30-0 with 20 KOs. He's 26 years old. He's from Argentina. He's the Argentinian. Ponce, notable names is Louis Ritson. This is the guy where I found out about Ponce, right? Louis Ritson. Not sure if y'all know Louis Ritson, but Louis Ritson, is a pretty popular UK fighter, former British champ. You know what I mean? Is Louis Ritson. Ponce gave Louis Ritson his second defeat. You know what I mean? So Louis Ritson, one fighter, of note. No, he's an overseas guy, so we may not know everybody that he faces. But I'm telling you, this Louis Ritson guy, I know y'all may not know him, but I know him. And over there in the UK where he from, he a big deal. He's he used to be a highly talented prospect, and the guy, a former champion, the guy that they thought would do great things. Now, he's not doing bad things. He suffered a couple setbacks in his journey, but Louis Ritson is still a very, 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 very liable opponent. You know what I mean? Especially when you're talking about, at the 140 market. He's just not on our side, but he is a liable opponent. So you got his one notable win against Louis Ritson. And I think that's the only person that we know. So he has that win over Louis Ritson. Does Jeremias Nicholas Ponce. This is Josh Taylor's new, mandatory, IBF mandatory. And if everything works out the way that it's been working out, right, Josh Taylor is probably going to, drop that belt and forego. Josh Taylor is probably going to drop that belt and forego, this fight with the IBF mandatory. But let's just say that Josh Taylor doesn't drop his belt, right? Let's say that he doesn't drop his belt and he says, you know what, I'm not going to fight Jack Caterall. I'm going to fight this guy for the IBF belt. You know what I mean? Now, we're not even sure if Josh Taylor is going to beat this guy right here or not, right? But on paper, right? On paper, when we're looking at it, Jack Caterall is the harder fight. Now, true enough, we didn't think Jack Caterall would be a good fight for him, right? But it turned out to be a much better event than we even thought. You know what I mean? So who am I to underestimate Jeremias Ponce? But just on the outside looking in, we would think that the harder opponent will be Jack Caterall, right? And between Jack Caterall, Jose Zepeda, Regis Prograis, and Albert Pulio, right? The hardest opponent, the easiest opponent would be Jack Caterall. So I'm thinking that's why he chose Jack Caterall. He re-chose Jack Caterall because he didn't want to fight Jack Caterall at first after he had lost. He didn't even want to fight Jack Caterall at first, right? But I think he saw those mandatories lined up in front of him, the WBA and WBC, and he was like, you know what? I'm finna go and fight Jack Caterall because I'm not going to go up to 147. He's not going to go up to 147 because I think Jack Caterall taught him that. So I think he was stuck between that place like, okay, man, I'm not going to go I'm not going to go to 147. I'm not going to go to 147. You know what I mean? I really don't want to fight Jack Caterall, and I damn sure don't want to fight my WBA and WBC mandatory, Jose Zepeda and Abapulio. So I got to buy myself some time right now. I got this Daniel Callahan situation going on. I can't fight in America no more. I got to buy myself some time. So I'm going to tell these folks that I'm moving up. Let them take the belts. That way I don't got to fight Pulio or Zepeda. Then I could come back, right? And I could fight Jack Caterall, you know what I mean, and tell everybody I'm doing this because I ain't want to leave 140 yet because I want to avenge, you know, that bad win on my loss, right? Well, now the IBF saying that you got to fight this guy or you're going to lose that belt anyway at 140. Now, my guess is Josh Taylor's going to let them strip the belt and he's going to fight Jack Caterall. At least that's what he better do if he's going to be, if he's going to, you know, stick to his word and continue to do what he said he was going to do. Now, he's already switched up this story once, but let's see. Let's see, you know, if he changes word again or whatnot and what he do in this particular situation. But this guy right here, Jeremias Ponce, is the IBF mandatory for his belt. Pretty formidable opponent. He hasn't fought any notable names except Louis Ritson. You know what I mean? But I expect him to be a pretty game opponent for Josh Taylor, but nothing that Josh Taylor can't handle. You know what I mean? Shout out to my guy Mag Chase said Ponce is an action fighter. I think he's legit. Yeah, I think he's pretty legit too. He said the ref saved Steve Gray throughout the towel in the recent fight versus Ponce. Yep, facts. He busted that man ass up. True. Shout out to my guy Mag Chad. Those are all facts. Mag Chad. Let me put Shay find us back up here. Those are all facts, Mag Chad. Greatly appreciate that. Yeah, that fight with Risson, you know, was one to watch. That fight with Risson was one to watch. I highly enjoyed that. My goddamn self. So basically what I'm saying is, although, you know, we're not overly familiar with this guy is a formidable opponent, but he would be the easier opponent, like, of the two, right? At least by public perception. At least that's what Josh Taylor thinks, right? Because he's never been in the ring with this guy. I think that's what got Josh Taylor in trouble. I think that's what got Josh Taylor in trouble the very first time. You know what I mean? Because he was underestimating his opponent. You know what I mean? He was underestimating that Jack Caterall guy, and that Jack Caterall guy, he went in there and he damn near took his cookies. He damn near took his plate. You know what I mean? Appreciate that, brother, dude. No, he went in there, he damn near took his cookies, he damn near took his plate, right? Jack Caterall. He damn near took his cookies. He damn near took his place so bad that guy didn't even want to fight him originally. He had to build up the confidence to come back around to fight him. You know what I mean? So when it really get down to it, why is Josh Taylor moving the way that Josh Taylor moving, right? Is it because he's afraid? You know what I mean? Because he's afraid of Jack Caterall? There'll be many people that tell you that these boxers ain't afraid of shit. So that can't be the answer. You know what I mean? Why did he drop his WBA and WBC belt? What's good, Shay? Shay back there. Shay spoke to y'all. Shay spoke back to you. I'm put the other camera, bro. It was good. Just I'm on the job, just. I'm on the job, just. I'm on the job. Shay spoke to y'all. Y'all say hey to Shay. What I do? What I do? Appreciate y'all folks sliding through. But yeah, so why did he drop the belts? Did he drop the belts because he was about to move up to 147? No. You know what I'm saying? Did he drop the belts because he was afraid of these people, right? You let y'all tell it. No. He didn't drop the belts because he was afraid of these people. So what's the real reason that he dropped the belts? He's not going to 147. He's not afraid of these people. So what's the real reason he dropped the belts? And nobody can answer that question because they haven't told us the real reason yet. Nobody said the reason you see a lot of these guys moving funny. You see a lot of these guys moving without direction. You see a lot of these guys just willy-nilly just move. My bad, y'all. My bad, y'all. My bad, y'all. My bad, y'all. But yeah, don't nobody find it funny. Since when was the last time? Now, okay, let's just say hypothetically, right? Hypothetically, right? Let's just say that Josh Taylor does indeed drop his IBF championship, right? When would be the last time you seen a fighter drop 3 belts in the division, right? Listen to what I want y'all to hear me out before I finish, right? And I'm finna bring my camera up in a minute. When was the last time y'all saw? When was the last time? The last yeah, the last time when was the last time you seen the champion get stripped of 3 belts in his division and never leave his fucking division? What fighter stays in his division and just lets them take all of his belts? Tell me the last time you saw a fighter shave retarded. Tell me the last time you saw a fighter, right, give up his straps and not leave a division. Josh Sanders, what's good, Josh? Appreciate you sliding through this, Josh. I almost said TWT in the building. Josh Sanders being out of TWT chats and shit. I'm starting to think he TWT. My guy Mag Chad said not a fan of Taylor. His best days are behind him, in my opinion. It's like, yeah, I agree with that, Mag Chad. And it happened fast, bro. It happened fast. I remember I was just saying that shit. I remember I was just a believer, right, Mag Chad? I was just a believer that Josh Taylor damn near could have beat Erling Bud at 147. And you could ask people, I wasn't saying that he could beat them, but I was saying, bro, Josh Taylor damn sure can compete with any of these people. I was the one saying that he damn sure can compete with any of these people. It's like Josh Taylor was just, it's like he was on top of the world. And then he just wasn't. It's like they got beat Jose Ramirez, right? He on top of the world. And then he coming to his title defense against this Jack Caterall guy that we never heard of before. The whole world just ready for Josh Taylor to go in there, dominate Jack Caterall, go up to 147, and start battling with the big dogs. We about to put Josh Taylor on their main stage in America with Erling Bud, and then that man laid an egg against goddamn Jack Caterall. And it's like his brain's been scrambled eggs ever since. It's like his brain's been scrambled eggs ever since that Jack Caterall fight. Like maybe before the Jack Caterall fight, you know what I mean? Which is why he fought the way he fought in it. But it's like his brain been scrambled eggs, you know, ever since he won Undisputed. You know, he did a damn good job against Jose Ramirez. He battled through some adversity and everything against Jose. You know what I mean? And again, y'all, I'm going to leave Shay up there because Shay fine as hell. I'm going to leave Shay up there because Shay look better than all y'all. You know what I mean? I'm going to leave her up there. But I see y'all in the building, man, chat. He said, Mac the Knife got many people shook. BNB Boxing News. What's good, BNB? Appreciate you sliding through this, John BNB. Glad you can make it, pimp. Glad you can make it. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in, whether you're here for a good time or a long time. Y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. And y'all speak to my girl, Shay. My girl, Shay spoke to everybody. I want everybody to say, hey, it's Shay. When y'all see Shay around this joint, y'all just know that me. That's why I'm letting y'all get acquainted with him today. Because if I see y'all fucking with Shay in any of these chats, I'm on y'all ass. No, I'm just playing. I'm really not playing though. But yeah, appreciate y'all folks sliding through these joints. But I think we need. I think he needs. I ain't gonna say we need because we as the fans, we need all these goddamn fights. We need every good fight we can get. Right? Because we the consumer, we the ones that want the product, we the ones fiending for this shit, right? We the ones that's gonna pay for this shit, right? So we need all the fights that we can get, right? But I want to speak on what Josh Taylor needs right now. What Josh Taylor needs right now? Josh Taylor needs to win his next fight in dominating fashion, you know, for him to get some of his mystique back. Josh Taylor was seen as possibly, right, the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. And people forget this was just a little less than what? This was just a little less than a year ago. Before that Jack Caterall fight, Curtis Swell was good. Appreciate you sliding through this, John Curtis. Glad y'all can make it. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button. Y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in, whether you're here for a good time or a long time. We up having us a boxing conversation this morning. The IBF, just called Jack Taylor's mandatory for their strap, the IBF strap. His name is Jeremias Ponce. He's 30-0 with 20 knockouts. My guy Mag Chad just told you he's an action-packed fighter. Pretty good fighter. He hasn't had, the big name fights like Josh Taylor, but this guy is the real deal. He's in his prime. You know what I mean? He's in his prime. The guy been looking real good lately. You know what I mean? I think if Josh Taylor is to fight this dude, which I think if he fight this guy, I will consider him ducking Jack Caterall. You know what I mean? And I would consider him ducking, Julio and Jose Zepeda because I already think he'll duck because he said he was leaving the division. I think he only said he was leaving the division because he didn't want to fight Jack Caterall, Jose Zepeda, and those other mandatories, right? But he ended up letting those belts go. Now he's staying and he gonna fight Jack Caterall again. If they call this Jeremias Ponce dude for his IBF mandatory and he fight him, that means he plans to stay at 140. So if you're gonna be a man of your word, you know what I mean, you shouldn't accept this mandatory, and you should. If he's a man of his word, he should just let them take the IBF belt as well. Keep you pushing with the Jack Caterall, then move up. Like you said, Meg Chad, Pedro Cambosis is going to beat T.O. Meg Chad, I think he's going to beat him too, man. I ain't lying to you. I got Pedro Cambosis by split decision. I got Cambosis. I said Cambosis. I got Pedro by split decision. Yeah, I got Pedro Cambosis. I got Pedro. I got Cambosis to win. I love to see it. Yeah, man, Chad, man. I do see ways Cambosis can beat. Cambosis. I do see ways that T.O. can beat this guy, right? But it's gonna be an uphill battle for T.O., man. This guy ain't no scrub, man. This guy ain't coming in there to play. This guy coming in there. Yeah, Pedro Campo. This guy coming in there, he mean business. I got 17 people in the building. Can I get all 17 of y'all to smash that like button for your boy? If you haven't, I would greatly appreciate it if I could get all 17 of y'all good folks in this building to smash that like button. You know what I mean? Greatly appreciate it. We in this thing having us a Josh Taylor conversation. We trying to make a little sense of Josh Taylor's current moves while I feel y'all lean on, what the IBF, had to say about his next challenger. His next challenger is Jeremias Ponce. You know what I mean? 30-0, 20 knockouts. Good fighter. It'll be a good matchup for Josh if he takes it. But my guess is Josh isn't going to take it because he let them strip away his other two belts at this point, right? Because he said he wasn't coming back. So it makes no sense for him to take this fight if he's not coming back. What this tells me, right, if he take this IBF fight, it tells me two things. It tells me, one, that he's coming back to 140, and it tells me, two, that he did duck Jack Caterall, Jose Zepeda, and Albert Pulio. It tells me a few things. It tells me that he's about to duck, Jack Caterall if he take this fight. And it also tells me that he already ducked his goddamn WBA and WBC mandatories because he said he wasn't fighting those guys because he wanted to fight Jack Caterall. Actually, he said he wasn't fighting those guys because he was leaving the division, right? And then he came back and said, well, I'm going to come back and fight Jack Caterall So I had to let them, take those belts so I could fight Jack like y'all wanted, right? He tried to play the reverse role with us, right? Well, I let them take those belts because y'all wanted me to fight Jack. I know I said I was leaving, but the fighters demanded, for a Jack Caterall fight. You would have got a lot more money. You would have got a lot more interest in that fight if you had done it right after it was over for Undisputed again, before all these mandatories were even called. What Josh Taylor did was he waited for the mandatories to be called. He waited for the minute. Josh Taylor found himself between a rock and a hard place because in Josh Taylor's mind, he was going to run through this Jack Caterall guy at 140, beat him up, and then move up to 147, on that have all the confidence in the world. But Jack Caterall gave him a wake-up call, and now he realizing that he may not even be able to beat some of these guys, at 140 right now. So now he had to get off of those belts, to get off of those obligations to defend them. You know what I mean? And I think on top of all this, that's just keeping it boxing, right? I feel like on top of all of this, in the back of Josh Taylor's mind, he's still worried about that Daniel Killian and MTK Global situation. Because we all know Jack Caterall was signed to MTK Global. You know what I mean? When you notice Josh Taylor been real indecisive lately. He even came out and spoke on his involvement with MTK, and he separated from him. And he separated from MTK Global. He made it clear that he separated from MTK Global. Coach Joe said, "Oh shit, I see the big comment. I appreciate you letting me crash at your 5 lows till some real shit." Appreciate you, Coach Joe. Hey, Coach Joe, I really got like 3 of them. Appreciate you, Coach Joe. I just do what I can. I do what I can, man. Man. It ain't no thing, but I do what I can. I got 5. I got 5 matches and shit anyway. Ain't nothing. Just to give somebody one. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing just to get somebody one. You know what I mean? Appreciate you sliding through this junk, Coach Joe. TWT is in the building. Appreciate you sliding through this thing, but I'm letting y'all know I'm putting Shay coming back up there again because, again, Shay look better than all y'all, and because I know that Shay watching right now, and I want Shay to know that I think she extremely fine. But I digress. You know what I mean? So I'm just waiting and watching to see, what the hell Josh Taylor do. Exactly when it comes to this IBF mandatory thing, right? This Jeremias guy. I think this Jeremias guy is dangerous for him. If y'all haven't, checked out Jeremias Ponce, check out Jeremias Ponce or Ponce. I only seen him fight once. In the one fight that I did see him fight in, he was victorious. I actually lost money on it because I bet on Lewis Ritson in that fight, and this Jeremias Ponce guy completely destroyed Lewis Ritson. So I'm not unfamiliar with this mandatory that, these guys call for Josh Taylor. I will say this. If everything is going to remain the same, then Josh Taylor should just simply ignore this IBF mandatory. And we're looking at the new champ at the 140-pound division right now in Jeremias Ponce. You know what I mean? He's an overseas guy, so he don't get a lot of talk or a lot of publicity over here in America. But he is a legit guy. Josh Taylor knows who this is. I guarantee you, Josh Taylor knows who this is. You know what I mean? I guarantee they know who this guy is over there, on that UK circuit. You know what I mean? Because he beat one of their best guys over there on the UK circuit, Lewis Ritson, right? He gave Lewis Ritson his last loss. This Jeremias Ponce guy that's been called this Josh Taylor's IBF. He is going to be a serious scrap for Josh Taylor. Like, there isn't, like, these young guys, talking about going up to 140. You know what I mean? These guys from 135 and the young guys and all that, man, 140 is not a place where you go to hide. 140 is not a place where you go and you not on your business. There are no easy fights at 140. The only easy fights you're going to find at 140 are the guys that you bring up from 135. You will have to bring up some bums from 135 to compete at 140 and not have to fight a real challenge. And you only can do that so long before the people catch on to exactly what you're doing. 140 is not the place for these people to be going, trying to duck people at 135. If you can't handle the people at 135, my brother, you damn sure can't handle the people at 140. It's people at 140 who we've never heard of who will beat the brakes off a lot of them guys at 135. This Jeremias Ponce guy, who just been called the mandatory, is one of the guys. This man will beat the brakes. This man will beat the brakes off of a lot of them guys at 135. Probably your favorite fight at 135, to be real. He's at Ponce, looks good. Argentina. Yeah, he's Argentinian. My bad, y'all. My bad, y'all. He's at Ponce. Yep. 30-0, 20 KOs. I've been telling the people. My bad, y'all. I'm sorry. I've been telling the people, yep. Oh, y'all do your boy a favor, too. Y'all do your boy a favor, too. Y'all say hey. Y'all say hey to my boo. Shay spoke to everybody. Shay be coming through here, showing that support. Shay been coming through here showing that support. She been trying to come through here and show your boy some support, and I appreciate it. I want her to know that it is appreciated, you know what I mean? I be appreciating, when the folks that I be knowing in real life and shit, for people I deal with in real life, y'all be coming through here showing, appreciation for your boy because, it's a beautiful thing because y'all don't get to. Y'all don't get to. So I appreciate everybody that come through here and show your boy love. And I really appreciate when people, that I love, that I love and that I know in real life come through this thing and show your boy some of their love and appreciation. Show your boy some of their love and appreciation. Because it's been it took us a while. It took us a while to get here, man. Y'all don't even know. Y'all don't even know. I remember in my morning, and I stopped doing my morning shows for my morning people. I got a huge UK following. You know what I mean? I cut down, on the morning shows a little bit. So now what I got to do, I just got to wake up a little bit earlier to wake up and hit y'all with that news, man. Just a little bit earlier. I got to do more, in it on the front end, on type deal. So that's what needs to be done. I got tired of my UK folks telling me, T, you don't never go live in the morning no more. You don't never go live. I be like, bro, I'll be dropping videos and shit though. You know what I mean? So I say, I'm just gonna wake up even earlier because I know my UK folks go already be up, So I'm just gonna get up a little bit earlier to come in here, get y'all thing, get y'all out the way. Hit my overseas people with their morning junk, and I take care of, my American folks on the back end. He said, tell Shay when she subscribe, click the bell, and then go to then you will know when they go live. Yeah, fast Josh. She know I told her. She been coming through late. I ain't gonna lie, she been coming through late. It's like her second day. What her second day? I met Shay, right? I met Shay this week. I met Shay this week. And Shay done been through her 3 times already, man. I'm impressed. I met Shay this week. She met her 3 times already. I'm impressed. That's the type of shit. That get you. Let me stop playing. Let me stop playing with y'all. I'm thinking Ponce would beat Josh Taylor. Low key DS. I'm thinking that too. But you know what, DS? I don't think that Josh Taylor think that, right? I don't think that Josh Taylor think that. And I also think that if Josh Taylor had got this IBF mandatory beforehand, I also think if Josh Taylor had got this IBF mandatory beforehand, he would have fought this mandatory and not Albert Pulio and Jose Zepeda. Because I believe the only reason that Josh Taylor is leaving 140 was because he didn't want to fight Jose Zepeda or he didn't want to fight Albert Pulio, which is why he let them take those belts and decided to stay in the division. You know what I mean? Josh Taylor, as of late, he been doing a lot of funny movements. And it ain't just him. If you really pay attention, but his is blatant. His is getting real blatant, and it don't make any sense. Again, how many champions have you seen let go of belts? How many champions? Let's say Josh Taylor lets go of this belt too, right? How many champions have you seen let go of 3 out of 4 belts and still have a fight in the division? If you're going to fight in that division, why not just keep all your straps that you earned for? That you worked hard for. Now, are you about to tell me, well, I won the belts, I don't care, I don't have to defend them. I defended them once against Caterall. So I'm guessing now you're about to tell me that, that part don't matter. You won them, and that's all that matter, right? And I will understand that, right? If you was moving up in a division, that would make perfect sense. If you was moving up in a division, then now it don't matter, right? It don't matter because you ain't finna be there. But my nigga, your next fight is in the same division. You just said that you can no longer make weight in and that you don't want to compete in anymore because you can no longer make weight in, right? But now, right? But now, and you also told us that you didn't care about fighting Jack Caterall. You said Jack Caterall didn't even deserve another fight. You said he ain't even deserve another fight. And he'll nobody that you're moving up. But now all of a sudden, you about to drop all your belts to fight Jack Caterall. And if y'all can't, and if this shit don't make sense to y'all, it's because it don't make sense to nobody. And that's because it don't make sense to Josh Taylor either. The thing that Josh Taylor is trying not to tell everybody is that he got MTK problems. And these sanctioning bodies, they stripping him of these belts for a reason. You know what I mean? You see that he's about to be stripped of every belt except for the WBO. And WBO is the Bob Arum belt, who he used to be signed with. You know what I mean? He used to be signed with Bob Arum, but he's been stripped at this point for every belt other than the WBO. And the WBO, ESPN Top Rank, everybody know that they're tied to Bob Arum. So Bob Arum, your boss, is the only person who hasn't took your belt yet. And Bob Arum and your boss is also under investigation for foul play. You under investigation for foul play. You know what I mean? So it's a common denominator there. You know what I mean? It's a common denominator there. These sanctioning bodies, WBA, WBC, IBF, let me tell y'all something. These sanctioning bodies, the WBA, the WBC, and the IBF, they know what's going on. They might not necessarily come out. And tell you what's going on, but they know what's going on. What time is it? 6:47. Damn, I've been cooking. I didn't even realize it was this 5 on. The G5 already come out. I'm gonna do 9 more minutes, and I'm gonna do an hour. Then I'm gonna get up out here. But yeah, the IBF and the WBC and the WBA, they know what's going on. You know what I mean? It's the reason why they hitting out these mandatories and shit too. Y'all notice something? Josh Taylor went from having no mandatories, right? Josh Taylor went from having no mandatories at all. I'm going to do 9 more minutes and we're going to head over to Brother G5. Josh Taylor went from having no mandatories at all, right, to having hella mandatories out of nowhere and them stripping his belt. Y'all ever seen the guy? Y'all ever seen the guy get 3 fucking mandatories called back to back to back to back to back like that? You know what I mean? Normally they give you a little time in between. You know what I mean? They call his mandatories back to back to back to back, and that man ignored every single mandatory. You know what I mean? He ignored every single mandatory, and then proceeded to tell us, "Oh well, I'm about to move up, and then stay in his division." These fighters be thinking they smarter. These fighters be thinking they smarter than everybody when really y'all not. Y'all just gotta keep it. Y'all should start. Y'all should start just keeping it real with the people instead of lying to the people. Because people like me go expose all the lies. You know what I mean? Because the people look at me, for answers and for the truth. And I ain't finna be the one, spreading lies out here because y'all don't pay me enough. You know what I mean? I ain't finna be out here spreading lies. Spreading lies to the people. My goal is to bring light to the people. And right now I'm bringing light to this situation that Josh Taylor in right now. The reason it looked like Josh Taylor running around like a chicken with his head cut off is because he is. It's shit that Josh Taylor don't want to come to the light, that's damn near about to come to the light. Him and a few other people. These guys got a certain number of moves left that they can make. They got a certain number of moves left that they can make. And by these guys, I mean these former MTK guys. These guys got a certain number of moves they can make, and they getting down to about their last 2 or their last 3 chess pieces. You know what I mean? Josh Taylor, Tyson Fury. That's why they seem to be all over the place. Because I want Bob Arum gone from boxing. Bob Arum need to retire and let his son take over. I want Bob Arum out of boxing because he been here longer goddamn enough. That's why I want his ass up out of here. He been here long enough. I ain't gonna say that he ain't did nothing for the sport because he damn sure has did a lot for the sport. He did a lot of good for the sport, but he also did a lot of bad for the sport. I just think Bob has ran his course, and it's time for him to get out of here. I want all this crooked and corrupt shit to get out of boxing, and it is too. If y'all pay attention, like a lot of these guys who crooked and corrupt, a lot of these guys starting to get exposed. A lot of this shit is starting to hit the fan. You know what I mean? I think boxing is trending in the right direction. That's us getting the fights inside the ring. He said, "Rock out, bro. I'll be ready in 10 minutes." For sure. For sure. Yup. I got 5 more minutes. On this thing. Then I'm going to let y'all get up out here. Then we go head over to 5. What's good, Omega Red? Appreciate you sliding through this, John Omega. Glad you could make it, pimp. Glad you could make it. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. Whether you go be here for a good time or a long time, if y'all could, smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. We're in here talking about Jeremias Ponce. Jeremias Ponce is the new mandatory for Josh Taylor's 140-pound belt. He's the new IBF mandatory. It's Jeremias Ponce. You know what I mean? If Josh Taylor goes through with his intended fight right with Jack Caterall, Josh Taylor will be stripped of the IBF title, and Jeremias Ponce will be dubbed the active, IBF champion. And that's news that I'm dropping. And then, I'm asking questions like, why would Josh Taylor drop all his belts just to stay in the same division? How many times have you seen a guy drop belts at this rate and have a fight in a division his next fight? You know what I mean? It just don't make sense to me. You know what I mean? I don't think it makes sense to Josh Taylor either, because initially after the fight, Josh Taylor said, everybody was saying you should remake Jack Caterall because that Jack Caterall fight was close. Most people think that Josh Taylor lost. So you had the masses saying that you should rematch Jack Caterall, There was a time when the people really did want to see you fight Jack Caterall again because a lot of people felt like that Jack Caterall beat your ass. You know what I mean? But that ship has since sailed. And now you pretending to give us this fight because you just some sort of nomad or some nobleman that you want to prove that you're the best in the world. Well, you should have gave that man a shot to win undisputed like he originally won the first goddamn time. Like he originally won the first goddamn time. You know what I mean? But to be real, like the people past this fight, like we ain't checking for Josh Taylor versus Jack Caterall. We ain't checking for Josh Taylor versus Jack Caterall. I want y'all to see my face when I say that. I want Josh Taylor to see my face when I say that. Josh Taylor, ain't nobody checking for no motherfucking you and Jack Caterall. We ain't trying to see that motherfucking shit. We want to see that shit right after he beat your ass the first time. We don't want to see that shit now after that shit watered down and washed up. You know what I mean? We know the play. We know the motherfucking play, dog. You trying to avoid all them hard ass fights. Pulio, Zepeda. So you dropped them belts. You was going to move up, but you saw that ass whooping that Jack Caterall put on you. You was like, shit, if Jack Caterall can put an ass whooping on me like that, I know Erlen Bud go put an ass whooping on me. So you like, nah, I ain't going up to 147 neither. You said, you know what? I'm going to fight Jack Caterall. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to fight Jack Caterall now because I damn sure don't want to fight Pulio and Zepeda still. So I'm going to fight Jack. I feel like I can get that win. I'm going to fight Jack and I'm going to move up. I'm going to fight Jack Caterall fight because it's worth just a little bit of money now. And then I'm going to move up to 147 and I'm going to cash out at 147 either with a Bud fight because, you know, both of us work for MTK Global. I'll move up to 147. I'm going to cash out either with a Bud fight or I'm going to move up to 147. I'm going to cash out with an Earl fight, or I'm going to move up to 147 and, you know, I'm going to give me a cash out fight. But I guarantee you this. I'll put my bottom dollar on this. Not going to get up out of here in a second. I'll put my bottom dollar on this, right? I'll put my bottom dollar that Josh Taylor and Tyson Fury don't fight again. And if they do fight again, it's going to be in the UK. And if they happen to fight one more time, I guarantee you Josh Taylor got a max of 2 more fights left. And I guarantee you Tyson Fury got a max of 1 more fight left. And I guarantee you neither of the fights going to make sense. And they both going to be in the UK. But I'm finna get up out of here. I'm finna get down to the last road. Facts. But I'm finna get the fuck up out of here. Skin the Hardaway Southern T. This ain't the past. This ain't the future, but this the present. That's how we rocking. And I'm out. Love. But before I get up out of here,